How are we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's PGA DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TG Nation 47, joined by John Cool 19, coming off of a very fun, eventful Pebble Beach, where we saw Tom Hoge run down Jordan Spieth at the end. Two guys that we did have in our lineups. Spieth was my favorite of the previous video. Performed pretty well, I would say, up until 4 holes left to go, and it just seemed to crumble down in flames. But hey, we broke even. We made a little bit of money. John, how are you this evening? It is the biggest party in golf, the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
Oh yeah, I'm super pumped. Coming off what really was a week I went into trying to play light. I lost, but I'm okay with that. My one and done was not good last week, but I'm ready to bounce back with an event I am much more excited to play, much more excited to put more DraftKings lineups in. This event is awesome. I wish it didn't really conflict with the Super Bowl, but whatever, that's fine. My guess is they're going to run guys off the front and back tees to try and get the event over as soon as possible in the afternoon, maybe even run them out in some groups of 3 or something like that. I don't know what they'll do on Sunday, but hopefully they try and wrap things up as quick as possible. But yeah, super excited. Very, very fun event. Way better to get past all of these course rotations, multi-course rotations, and get to some more standard golf. Much easier when it comes to DFS, a lot less of variance. We can kind of lean on our models a whole lot more than playing on 3 courses where we only have stats on one of them. I hate that, so I'm glad to be done with it for a while. But yeah, pumped to get into this week.
Yeah, me too. I love this event. I love that they actually do it on Super Bowl weekend, because it feels like it's the passing of the torch for me. Like, I'm a big football fan and I'm a big golf fan, so it's like, okay, I'm putting away one season, but in the same weekend I'm opening up what feels like the party to golf, and I just love how it transitions like that perfectly. Hopefully one day get to this event. It's on the bucket list for sure.
Absolutely.
As we know, we have the 16th tee, the stadium course. Feel like you can't talk about the Waste Management Phoenix Open without talking about the stadium hole. It is a packed house arena, as you can see behind John here, of just, stands, rows of stands, and a par 3, you'll have players pumping the crowd up to hit a golf shot. It's pretty cool, and definitely something I want to see in my lifetime, that's for sure. But that's not the only hole, John. So get to us with this a little bit of a course breakdown and what we can expect statistically for the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
Yeah, so sounds good. This is a par 71, 7,200 yards. The conditions are going to be pretty dry where they have been, and the grasses are going to be fast and firm. So really 7,200 yards. It's going to play a lot shorter than that. It is just a par 71. So if you're trying to look at some kind of comp courses, you want to be kind of on the shorter side of that, the way this course is going to play. It is in the desert, obviously, in Scottsdale, Arizona. Bermuda grass greens, although it is kind of a blend, Bermuda grass, some POA bent, but really we're going to lean on Bermuda grass putting as far as statistics go this week. This course, it kind of has 2 halves to it. The first half, a bit more difficult. There's going to be quite a few holes that par is just fine. A couple birdies here and there, you're going to have an edge on the field. But this back 9 is what's really exciting about the event. It is all risk reward. There is a ton of holes that you can go for it. The par 5s, definitely there will be a lot of eagles this week. There's a par 4 that is very, very drivable. So we're going to see guys that either go for it and get wet, or they go for it and make birdies and eagles. That is more fun than a lot of other styles of golf. I really do love that quite a bit. You mentioned the stadium hole. It is going to be dead silent when golfers go to tee off, and then absolute eruption if they can make it onto the green. You will hear boos if they don't as well. So the fans absolutely will rile up some of these golfers. You'll see guys like JT, I think, who really excels. He will be the type to kind of pump up the crowd when there's an opportunity for that. So yeah, big party there. There's only the 3 par 5s this week, but I'm still including par 5 scoring since they are so gettable. And then fast and firm greens. These are actually pretty difficult when it comes to greens, faster than we've seen the last handful of weeks as well. The fairways they're not super tough to hit, and it's not all that penal if you miss. But really, we are looking at guys for off the tee. So distance helps, accuracy helps. Off the tee is pretty critical this week versus the last handful of weeks. It's been all approach. So I'm going to balance the off the tee quite a bit more with approach this week and just hammer ball strikers as much as I can. Also looking at some scrambling on this course. And then birdies are better. You've got to score on this course. You got to be aggressive. That is who we're going to see move up to the top. You think about last year, Brooks Koepka. He came from behind quite a few strokes in order to catch Hahn. And really, that was just aggression. He went for it. He had a chip in that I believe was for eagle, right? And this is just how you win this course is you go for it, you seek the flag. Guys like Hideki Matsuyama. And really, if there's ever a week for team no putt, this is it. You know, you can kind of mask some of your putting woes on this course. Just aim for the flag, get it close, and then makes things a lot easier. And this course, you can actually do that.
Yeah, definitely. Win in multitudes of ways, but you know, when you have past winners like Hideki Matsuyama and Kyle Stanley, you definitely know that this is a ball striker's course. I would totally agree with you with the off the tee feels this week. Definitely going with guys that are really good with the driver in their hands. Can also put the driver on the green or anywhere close. You're going to have to be evading water, so this is like a good introduction into that. And with Florida coming and all that. But yeah, sure. This is a really, really impressive course in Arizona. TPC. So you can't say anything about a TPC course without mentioning Pete Dye. So expect bunkers, expect water hazards, just expect things to neutralize distance and to increase accuracy. So ball strikers. Anytime you get to Pete Dye courses. All right, enough about the course. Let's get into the picks. Favorite pick of the week for myself is Hideki Matsuyama at 10-4, 14-1. Two-time winner of this event. Definitely a guy who's in some immaculate form. He's won 2 out of the last 4 events between the Zozo, Century, Sony Open, where he ran down Russell Henley at the end of that event to win with that immaculate shot on 18. And then he finished 30th at the Farmers. So he has, really good form. The elite course history, as I mentioned, 2-time winner. He also has a few top 5s or top 20s as well. A 42 place finish last year was his worst. I think he ran into a really, really, really poor round with his irons that year. But everything else has been pretty spot on. And when Hideki's in amazing form, I'm definitely playing him at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. There's no chance I'm going to let that go to waste. 5th in the model, 7th in the proximity from 150 to 175, and 8th tee to green. Just an overall great player. And if he can find some of some of that putting form that he had at the Sony Open, this could be a runaway. So give me Hideki for sure. What are your thoughts on him, and who is your favorite stud of the week?
Sure. As you know, I'm always a Hideki guy, and this is definitely a spot to pick him. If you're looking at one and done picks, he's got to be on your list. Top couple guys you'd like to take at this event. So I like that a lot. For me, I don't know if it's a cop out or not, but I'm going Jon Rahm. Really, my model loves him. He is number 1 in the modeling there for me. 11-6 on DK and 6-1. I've seen a little better than that. So if you're going to bet Jon Rahm outright, don't bet it on DraftKings. You can get better than the 6-1. But really, he is the number 1 golfer in the world still right now. His last 10 events, only the 1 missed cut. And of those 10 events, 9 of them, top 15s. The only other one was the missed cut. So he is just consistency. And this course also, he absolutely loves it. He has played here 6 times. His worst finish was 16th place. He has 3 top 10s. He doesn't have any top 5s, but he has not been playing as good a golf in past years as he has just the last 6 months to a year. He's been playing just excellent. Even here, just in 2022, he has played 3 events, 2nd place at the Tournament of Champions, 14th place, and then 3rd at the Farmers. You're not going to find all that much better form than him anywhere on tour right now. And then looking back at his stats last year, although he didn't finish top 5, he was 4th tee to green and he was 4th on approach. He can just kind of tidy up that putting just a little bit this year. I could see him winning this event. He comes in with the stats are just insane. Number 1 off the tee, number 1 tee to green, number 1 birdies or better, number 1 bogey avoidance, number 1 scrambling. and 14th in approach over the last 36 rounds. It's just crazy. So the stat model just loves him, runaway best on my sheet. So I'm going to take Jon Rahm up top and try and figure out where to pay for that elsewhere with some cheaper guys. But this event, we alluded to it a little bit. It's stacked. The field is absolutely stacked. So you're going to get some really good names. They're a bit cheaper, lower 7K guys that typically would be much higher in the pricing. Even some 6K guys that we like quite a bit, typically you would pay more for. So I think it's not all that difficult to fit Rahm in without hating your line this week.
Absolutely. Can't go wrong with Jon Rahm, that's for sure. All right, moving on to the value plays. I'm going to go with Aaron Wise and Keith Mitchell. Aaron Wise, 7,100, 65 to 1. That opened up at, a pretty large number. I think it was north of 100 to 1. That's been bet down extremely over the course of just, 48 hours. He's in really good form. 10th in the model. Third and birdies are better. 14th tee to green. He's very bad putter. But I want to say he's been a bad putter historically, but he's been a really good putter recently. In the last 10 events, he has 7 of those with, plus putting on, a multitude of surfaces too, both Bermuda, some POA, some bent. So he's really started to figure out, hey, if I can just putt, not as terrible as I normally do and just average, maybe I can be in the hunt. And I think that's what we've seen. He did miss the cut at the Farmers, but the Farmers is a really tough cut to make. 26th in Houston, 15th at the Mayakoba, 5th at the CJ Cup, and 8th at the Shriners. Aaron Wise was a fall swing golden child for us, along with Taylor Gooch. We played a lot of those guys, and Aaron Wise, great form, and I think he's going to be some pretty chalky play, but I think it's going to be the right play. Another guy here I like, Keith Mitchell, 7,500. Excellent driver of the golf ball. Keith Mitchell has won at the Honda. That is a pretty tough course. I believe that's Jack's place. That's PGA National. Is that Honda? PGA National? Where he won?
Stadium course. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, he's, that's a pretty tough track. So, if the going gets tough and the conditions get worse, I don't mind Keith Mitchell. 12th in par 5 scoring, 22nd birdies are better, 6th in scrambling. But really it is all about that driver. The guy's going to be, if he drives the ball excellent like he has been, the approach game has been really good. We saw 12th last week at the Pebble Beach. He gained on the approach there. Missed the cut at the Farmers, but I'm just excluding that from any kind of recent form. 7th at the Sony Open, 12th at the RSM, and he finished 16th here in 2020. So he has a little bit of course form, but the recent form is in on Keith Mitchell, and I got a really good gut feeling here on Keith Mitchell. I actually would really like that bet at 70 to 1. That is something I might look into. For an outright. I think that's a really good number, and he's got wins, and I think he can pull one off here.
Yeah, I like the Keith Mitchell pick. I seen after you had mentioned it, a few people on Twitter as well have kind of been touting him a bit. I think he's going to end up getting a little more run as the week goes on. But I like both these guys. And Aaron Wise, I always think of him as a guy who makes a ton of birdies, might make some bogeys here and there, make some mistakes. But he's a guy who can put a whole bunch together, and that helps for the DraftKings scoring. Need that this week for sure. I went just a little bit different route. It's a little bit more expensive on my value plays, but I think they're excellent options still. Russell Henley for me pops in my model at 8,200, 30 to 1. I'm not sure if he's going to win this week. I would rather maybe play somebody like you mentioned, Keith Mitchell, if I was on a betting card. Can't do that here in Minnesota, but I still do like the odds there. For Russell Henley, he's just been consistent. He made all of his last 10 cuts. 7 out of those were top 25 finishes. 14th place at the Amex, and second place at Sony. As you mentioned, he got run down at the end there. But he was 30th in this event last year, so I like the course history there. He has 2 other top 20 finishes on this course. He's played here 9 times, so I like that a lot. He has missed a couple cuts, 4 of them, in fact, but the top 20 finishes are really what's drawn me to him. Besides that, the stat model loves him a ton. He's a really good Bermuda putter. He's finishing in the top third of this field or so. in long-term Bermuda putting, and he is second on approach in this field. The only only one golfer ahead, and I think you're going to be talking about him in a moment here. Yeah, Russell Henley, absolutely awesome on approach. 7th tee to green, 12th good drives gained. He's 18th birdie or better, so a lot to like for the model when it comes to Russell Henley. I've even been pondering maybe having him as my one and done pick this week. I don't think I can quite stomach it, but I like Russell Henley quite a bit. The second guy I'm going with here, Luke List, 7,700, a little bit cheaper, a lot more value, I think, here. His last 10 events, he's made 8 out of 10 cuts, 5 of those top 20, and he was a winner on his last time out. That was at the Farmers. So coming off a win, I think he has an opportunity really to get high here. I think everyone's been on him for the last couple months. The form is just so good with Luke List right now. A lot of that has to do with his ball striking. He's 7th off the tee, 15th on approach over the last 36 rounds, and 2nd tee to green. So just as we know with Luke List, he can't putt. And he is just like Hideki when it comes to just being fantastic tee to green. But at the Farmers, he put well, and that's all it took. He didn't have to putt great. He didn't have to be the best. He just had to putt well, and that got him the win, and he has that opportunity again this week. I have him near dead last in putting in this field, but 2nd place, tee to green. So 2 different guys when it comes to his skill set here before and after he gets onto the green, and 7th birdie or better for Luke List. So a whole lot to like here. I think he is a great option. I think I might be able to squeeze both these guys in a cash lineup. We'll see how we shake out towards the end of the week, but I think they're both good plays, cash or GPP.
Yeah, definitely on these two for cash plays or GPP plays. I think they both set up really strong for this week. List profile is just as good as Henley, and I think we can take that for what it was worth with Hideki. They all just seem to have that same mold, whether one's better or the other, but they all have that same profile. Moving on to the sleeper slide here, I'm going to tell everyone it's Dufner week. Jason Dufner week, 6,100 on DraftKings, 300 to 1. He's been really good tee to green. He's got a boss hat, and the course history is not good recently, but he's got a couple back-to-backs back in the day. I kind of pride myself on being the Dufner whisperer. Every time I seem to put this guy on the slide, he comes through, and he's popped on the model for both of us. I think that's the sign that all we need to know that it is Jason Dufner week. If you're looking to build lineups like, RAHM Cantlay or RAHM Hideki, try to get 2 studs, I think Jason Dufner at 6,100, all you're really hoping for is a top 30, top 40, and, your studs top 5, and you're looking pretty good.
Definitely.
He seems to figure something out around the greens too. This guy's in 6 of his last 7 events. He's got, plus strokes gained on his putting. That's not typically normal with Jason Dufner. He's 21st off the tee and 23rd in the model and on approach, 1st in opportunities gained. So anything that's just off the fringe. And I think that's really important here for par 5 scoring and that drivable par 4 is that he's got really good strokes gain numbers from just off the green or on the green. So I think that sets up really well. 40th at the Amex. He gained 6.3 strokes gain total. Jason Dufner. Yeah, man. Let's go.
Yeah, I like it. I will definitely be playing Jason Dufner now that you've mentioned him for this week. But you're right. He popped in my model as well. He's up there in top 30 for a guy who's almost minimum price on DraftKings. Gives you a lot of flexibility in your lineups. For me, though, I toyed with a handful of guys here. Naismith is the one I'm going with, but I also looked at like Party Marty Laird. He loves to play some desert golf. JT Poston has played well at this course. James Hahn, a couple guys that I'm interested in down here. But for me, Matthew Naismith, 6,600. He comes in. Bermuda is his best putting surface, so I like that quite a bit. He's got that decent course history. He was 7th here in 2021. He has made 2 out of his 3 cuts so far this season. That includes 34th at the Farmers. And then the approach is fantastic for him. 23rd in this field, 15th in good drives gained. So the modeling likes him quite a bit. the decent course history. I think he is worth a flyer for like a top 20 bet in this field. And I think he helps fit, just like Dufner, a lot of your studs. So if you even want to play two cheap 6K guys, it'll give you a whole lot of flexibility up top and be able to play multiple studs. I think that's a route to go in GPPs this week, when I think a lot more people are going to be balanced, because you've got guys like Webb Simpson under 9K, you've got Louis Oosthuizen under 9,000. He'll always be popular. At least he has been the last 6 months or so. Taylor Gooch, another guy who's going to be really cheap in this field. The guys you mentioned too, Wise and List that I had, those guys are going to allow a lot. That's, I think, where people are going to flock with their ownership. So be able to get a stud and then play a handful of those guys in that middle ground, and maybe one 6K guy. I think if you have two, that gives you a huge advantage here on leverage versus the field in your GPPs this week.
Absolutely. Well said. We're getting into, one of the fun slides of the week. But it's time for you to pick it up here. And I think you're going out on a limb and you're going for broke here with JT. Tell me a little bit about the reasonings.
Yeah, Justin Thomas has some great course history here. Looking at his past course history at other events, there's maybe a couple that I'd be interested in playing him at. I know at the Players he won last year, and that's a good comp course for me. He tends to be a bit better earlier in the season or down the stretch in the playoff events, which the Tour Championship is not on the slate for one and done. And those other couple events, there's some other guys that I might be interested in. And I don't necessarily love leaving somebody from the top 5 official golf rankings for the last couple events. I'd rather be able to use him up when I think he's got a great chance to win. JT fits the mold here. If I had to pick him or RAHM to win this week, I'm probably going to take RAHM, but I'm going to be saving RAHM for later in the year at a much tougher event, something like the US Open, Open Championship, something like that, where the money is double and the difficulty level is much more difficult than here at Waste Management. I think that's where I'm going to end up using him. So I'll save him. Give me JT. Get a win for me. I think just even though a win, that million plus, that'll take me probably into the top 1,000 or so. So I'm not too concerned about being down the list. I've had some unfortunate breaks with guys just barely making the cut or making the cut and then fizzling out on the weekend. So I'll be okay down here at the bottom for a moment, but I do need a win to pop me up there.
Yeah, even just a top 5, just even if it's a couple 100,000 to get you really, moving in the right directions here. I think it was good.
Right.
A good choice, a good time to burn a stud, and I thought you picked a really good one as well. I'm going to go with Scotty Scheffler. I'm sitting at 1,000th. I've dropped over the course of the last 2 weeks. T34 from Xander and a T33 from Maverick. Not really impressive, but I did have back-to-back top 10s to start the year. I'm looking for a win as always, as who isn't in one and done, but I think Scotty Scheffler sets up really well for this course. Really good driver of the golf ball, really good tee to green. I believe he's 14th tee to green. He's got some good approach numbers. He can putt. He kind of just does everything, He balances it really well. And I think Scheffler 7th here last year. So maybe in his 3rd event, it's a win. And I'm hoping either one of these guys wins. So we can start, really getting into this event, getting more money. Big thank you to the Fantasy National Golf Club. They power this one and done selection every year. It's really fun to follow. It's even gotten me and my, close friends involved in one and done picks. And it's a really cool way for you to try fantasy golf. All right. Well, that'll wrap things up. John, anything else to add on the Waste Management Phoenix Open?
No, definitely don't get too drunk watching this before the Super Bowl, because you'll be getting drunk for that as well. So save a couple of beers for the football game afterwards, I guess. But yeah, I'm really pumped for it. This is an excellent event. If you're watching on TV, there are some events that aren't nearly as exciting. This one is at the top up there with the majors as far as watchability. If you're not the biggest golf fan, this is one to tune into.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. All right, guys, that'll do it for us here on the FSI PGA DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47. That is John Cool 19. Please like this video, comment below with any questions you may have. Subscribe to our channel at Fantasy Sports Insight. All right, guys, thank you and have fun. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the ending of the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
Sweet. Good luck.